Harris and her supporters say her career makes her uniquely prepared to take on Donald Trump.
I started my career as a prosecutor.
I can't wait to see her prosecute the case against Donald Trump.
Prosecute the case.
Prosecute the case.
She was a prosecutor.
That record as a prosecutor began in the San Francisco area. 2 California families say that history and the impact on their lives deserves scrutiny as she runs for president. One of Harris's first major controversies happened just months after she was elected San Francisco district attorney. In 2004, police officer Isaac Espinoza was gunned down by a gang member.
There you go.
Just 29, he was a young father and devoted husband to Renata Espinoza, who had to identify his body in the hospital.
I remember I walked into this room and he still had blood here. He was laying there with his eyes closed and I saw the blood here. And I walked over to him and I was just like, wake up.
Harris publicly announced she would not seek the death penalty against Espinoza's killer, keeping a campaign promise despite furious political pressure.
Life without possibility of parole is a severe consequence.
But a decade later, as California's Attorney General, Harris defended capital punishment. When a judge found the state's death penalty to be unconstitutional, Harris and her team called the decision fundamentally misguided in a court briefing. Officer Espinoza's widow spoke to CNN in 2019, calling it a reversal driven by politics.
Are you going to be for the people? Are you going to be for yourself? Are you really being you?
Should we be talking about some of this flip-flopping?
I think it's fair to talk about flip-flopping. I think that's what makes America great.
Brendan Woods is Alameda County's first black chief public defender. On the other side of the bay, Harris was San Francisco's first female district attorney. Their history-making careers rose together.
When she ran for district attorney of San Francisco, her policies were that of the city of San Francisco. All of her policies when she was the attorney general were much more restrictive, much more right.
As California's attorney general, Harris promoted enforcement of a law that allowed prosecutors to seek jail time for parents of truant kids.
If you fail to take responsibility for your kids, we are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, how can you lock parents up?
I opened the door and I see at least 7 or 8 cops, full gear, like wanted to arrest me. As a matter of fact, they did.
That was May 2011. The Haddadines woke to law enforcement at their door.
And you're handcuffed this whole time?
Oh yeah, absolutely, like a criminal. I have my pajamas on, like those paper-thin pajamas, and that's what I went to jail in.
Their son, Connor, was in middle school then.
I used to be allergic to a lot of things.
You missed 12 days of school.
Yeah, but not consecutively.
It's not like the kids don't like school, they do, but they couldn't breathe.
Arrested under the new state truancy law, the Haddadines, who had no prior criminal history, were spotlighted in local news outlets. The electronic trail still haunts them to this day.
It impacted every aspect of my life, everything.
Harris acknowledged the problems with that truancy law she once championed when she ran for president in 2019.
In some jurisdictions, DAs have criminalized the parents.
Right.
And I regret that that has happened and that the thought that anything that I did could have led to that, because that certainly was not the intention, never was the intention.
Yeah.
I don't think you can consider that an unintended consequence because she created the law.
Harris's prosecutorial history is long and complicated for those lives who've been touched by it. And it should all be reviewed and weighed, says Woods.
I think people can evolve, and I think that's what she's done.
A Harris campaign spokesperson tells CNN in a statement, throughout her entire career, Kamala Harris has fought to protect people and hold bad actors accountable. Asked about her shift on the death penalty, the Harris aide says the role of attorney general is different from that of district attorney and that Harris followed state law as AG. As far as Brendan Woods, the public defender, he says despite having some internal conflict about supporting a former prosecutor for president, he says he will absolutely vote for Harris. Kyung Wah, CNN, Los Angeles.
So who are we getting? The AG
Hi, I'm Victoria Missick. And
Make up your own mind. Do your research. We're about 20 days away, 23 days away.